there's been some lonely ghosts floating around. So, Jessii has captured some and placed them into jars for you to keep company. They glow in the dark to bring some light to your nights. On her journey, she also came across some lost pumpkins that are looking for a loving home this Halloween season. They are her gift to you. Only available on jessiivee.com for limited time.
Hey guys, it's Jessii Vee, and you can finally see what my Halloween costume is. And yes, it is what the title of this video is, The Girl with the Green Ribbon. This story used to haunt me as a kid, and the reason why I said it was so niche is because I don't know if everyone's heard this story before. I feel like if you grew up in the 1980s and 1990s, this was a story that people told around the campfire about the girl that had to keep a ribbon around her neck, and if she took it off, her head would fall off. And I just love the color green, so I just felt like this really suited me. And I have black hair like the girl in the book, so it just worked. So I thought it would be fun to tell you guys that story and to also talk about the origins of that story. Before I get started though, I would love to give you guys another gift. I feel like I want to make this a thing. I want to do it every so often. And so this time I got some really cute Coraline keychains. One is of the Other Mother's doll, the other one is just your classic Coraline. And so for the next 48 hours after this video goes live, anyone who makes a purchase on the website will get one of these amazing Coraline keychains while supplies last. It will apply automatically to your cart when you're shopping. And yeah, once again, it's a free gift. It's a thank you for supporting me. And I know we all love Coraline, so it just works. So yeah, it's starting now. For 48 hours, I have linked my shop down below in the description for you. So let's get right into today's video. So most people know this disturbing story from a book called In a Dark, Dark Room. This came out in 1984, and many of us even heard this tale being whispered around at school or maybe around a campfire. But not many people know that it was actually inspired by stories that were written all the way back in the 1800s. So the short story In a Dark, Dark Room was actually a retelling. But before I jump back into history, I'm gonna reread you the story that we all know and love. And if you've ever heard this tale before about the girl with the green ribbon, comment any green emoji down below. I wanna know. So here we go. The Green Ribbon. Once there was a girl named Jenny. She was like all the other girls except for one thing. She always wore a green ribbon around her neck. There was a boy named Alfred in her class. Alfred liked Jenny, and Jenny liked Alfred. One day he asked her, "Why do you wear that ribbon all the time?" "I cannot tell you," said Jenny. But Alfred kept asking, "Why do you wear it?" And Jenny would say, "It is not important." Jenny and Alfred grew up and fell in love. One day they got married. After their wedding, Alfred said, "Now that we are married, you must tell me about the green ribbon." "You still must wait," said Jenny. "I will tell you when the time comes." Years passed. Alfred and Jenny grew old. One day, Jenny became very sick. The doctor told her she was dying. Jenny called Alfred to her side. "Alfred," she said, "now I can tell you about the green ribbon. Untie it, and you will see why I could not tell you before." Slowly and carefully, Alfred untied the ribbon, and Jenny's head fell off. I love it. It's classic. It's so creepy. And just so you know, if I untied this ribbon right now, my head would fall off too. Okay, so I'm gonna now tell you about the 1800 story that inspired this one that we all know. And this story is called The Adventure of the German Student. This was also a short story, but it was written back in 1824. It's about a young German student named Gottfried Wolfgang that was living in Paris during the French Revolution. And he was a very quiet, reclusive man that was obsessed with books about the paranormal. One stormy night, he was wandering the streets of Paris feeling restless and sad, and he came across a guillotine where he saw a beautiful young woman huddled on the ground beside it. She was alone and in despair. She had a pale face and dark eyes, and she was pleading for his help. He also noticed that she wore a black ribbon around her neck. So overcome with sympathy for her, he felt terrible for her. He approached her, asked her what was wrong, and she told him that she had lost lost absolutely everything. Her family, her home, her money, and now she had nowhere to turn. And he immediately felt this intense connection towards her. So he declared his love for her and begged her to come live with him. Strangely, she agreed and he took her back to his house and vowed to protect her and take care of her. They fell asleep together that night in front of the fireplace and he felt so happy to be by her side. But when Gottfried awoke the next morning, the woman lay cold and lifeless beside him. And to his horror, he realized that her head was no longer attached to her body. Terrified, he ran for help and soon police came over. And as they investigated, they revealed that the young woman had in fact been executed the day before her body left at the foot of the guillotine. So the woman he had rescued was a ghost. Gottfried was overwhelmed by this truth and eventually went mad. It is said that he was found wandering the streets, haunted and muttering, unable to shake the image of the woman who had come to him from beyond the grave. So back then, when this story came out, everyone was terrified of it, and that was really the first time people started retelling this story over and over again. Around Halloween, around the campfire, it was kind of like the game Telephone, where the story kind of changed over time. Now it's a green ribbon and not a black ribbon. But I do love the retelling, and the fact that there's illustrations that go with it is so cool. So yeah, I think I did a good job with my Halloween costume this year, and I'm really curious what you guys are being for Halloween, so definitely comment it down below.
Once there was a girl named Jenny. She was like all the other girls, except for one thing. She always wore a green ribbon around her neck.
And don't forget, before I get going, for the next 48 hours, if you get anything on the website, you will get a Coraline keychain, which is so cool. I have linked my website down below, but I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope you have an amazing Halloween. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!